let's go for a walk. Come on. Hey, look, Apollo. Huckleberry. Red huckleberry. Would you like some huckleberry? Huh? Would you like some? Here you go. There you go. He likes huckleberry. One of the questions that comes up a lot more often than I ever would have thought basically revolves around the fact that since I'm a pastor and a chaplain and I do pastoral counseling, you all right, bud? Okay. Is this a religious program? Part of me wants to say, if you're finding it helpful, does it really matter? And there's a lot of truth in that. But at the same time, the question itself deserves a deeper answer. Before we do, though, I have a favor to ask of you. If you're finding these videos helpful, please like this one. If you're finding the video series helpful, please follow it. If you need more in-depth information and deeper answers than I can provide in a short video, please refer to the books. And if you already have read the books, please review them online on the platform that you bought it from or on Goodreads. So, with no further ado, back to the question, is this a religious program? To a large degree, that depends on exactly how we define religion. Many would say that religion is belief in a divine being, a supreme entity. Well, but if that's religion, that leaves out Buddhists. They don't believe in any divine entity. I think they would, rightly so, be offended if someone told them they weren't an actual religion. If we say it's belief in the supernatural, the existential, well, that leaves out Hinduism. They don't believe in a supernatural. They believe in a spiritual realm within the present reality. Again, I think we would probably offend them. A religion has to provide what's known as a master narrative. A master narrative has to ask, where did we come from? And it has to answer where we came from. It has to ask and answer, where are we going when this life is over? And based on answers to the first question and the second question, it has to answer, what is the most important thing to be doing here in the current reality based on where we came from and where we're going? So, give you an example. Christianity's master narrative might be something like, we were each individually and uniquely created by God. We're going to be judged for what we do with this life. We're destined for hell, but God provided a way out. Therefore, the most important thing to do in this life is to choose wisely. Atheism, on the other hand, their master narrative might say, we came from the accidental collision of a bunch of elements at just the right time, in just the right area, in just the right space, and just the right sequence. When this life is over, there's nothing more. We return to the earth. We return to dust. Our atoms and particles dissipate. Therefore, the most important thing to do is to live the most fulfilling life that you possibly can right now in the here and now, because this is all you get. Two completely different master narratives, yet as master narratives, they are both completely valid. They're both very solid master narratives. They both answer where we came from, where we're going, and what's the most important thing to do. Some people feel more comfortable with the term worldview than master narrative. But regardless of what you call it, a worldview or a master narrative, it answers those three things. Therefore, by definition, it is a master narrative. The other thing that's important to realize, though, is that these worldviews, these master narratives, are a central part of who we are as human beings. They dictate or influence how we think about things. They dictate and influence how we respond, how we see events, such as the addiction of our children. They are core to who we are. We can no more leave that part of us behind and engage in an area over here than we could leave our legs behind unless we have suffered trauma and were amputated. Okay? They're part of who we are, part of our very essence. Now, most people would agree that everyone has a worldview, or everyone has a master narrative. And a lot of people would make the point, yes, but not everyone has a religion. And that's true. That's the second part of what a religion must have. A religion must provide a master narrative or a worldview, but it also must have things that have to be taken on faith. It must have unprovable faith statements that could never be proven one way or the other. Christianity is often accused of blind faith because no one's ever seen God. No one knows that we were created. No one knows there's a heaven or a hell at the end of this existence. Those are all faith statements. That all has to be taken on faith. At the same token, atheism. No one knows that the Big Bang happened. No one knows that our existence is an accidental collision of atoms and particles. No one knows that there's no life after here. And no one knows anything else that make up the core beliefs, the core belief statements of atheism. And I don't want to pick on atheists. We could do this with secularists. We could do this with agnostics. We could do this with Buddhists, with Hindus, with whoever you want to choose, because every religion has a worldview. Every worldview is based on a master narrative, and every master narrative is supported by, you guessed it, unprovable belief statements. Now, it's very common in today's day and age for us to say, I'm spiritual, not religious. No, sorry. Everyone has a worldview. It's how we view the world. Everyone has a master narrative as part of their worldview. All master narratives are supported by unprovable belief statements, which requires faith. Therefore, what we really are is every single one of us is religious, but not every one of us is spiritual, or at least spiritually aware. As Christian, I believe that we are all spiritual beings. We just may not be spiritually aware. So that's where we sit. Now, with that in mind, now I can answer the question, is this a religious program? Christianity informs my master narrative. Christianity has unprovable belief statements, and Christianity supports my worldview, or drives my worldview, which drives how I think about, how I respond, how I react. It's all based on Christianity, which is a part of me. I could no longer leave mine behind than you could leave yours behind. So, in that regard, is this a religious program? I would have to say yes. But the reality is the question was poorly worded. What should have been asked is, since we are all religious, since we all have a worldview, since we all have a master narrative that has to be taken on faith, is your religion, your religious views, going to be oppressive? Is it going to be overriding? Is it going to be too much for me to bear? That would have been a better question, but unfortunately it's a question I can't answer. It's a question only you can answer, because it depends on how you translate and understand what I'm saying through the paradigm of your own specific religious worldview. The only thing I can tell you is I try to respect everyone's worldview, but I'm hoping that one of the things that you appreciate about these videos is you're always going to get the authentic me. I'm not going to fake anything. Okay? I'm going to be real with you, and I hope you'll be real with me. Part of that means, since Christianity is my worldview, I have to be true to it, and I will always be true to it. I will try not to be overbearing about it, but it's going to come through. It's part of how I think about everything. The only way I can answer if it's going to be too much for you is going to be to encourage you to watch some videos and determine if it's too much for you. If it's too much for you, stop watching. Probably don't buy the books either, because that's how it's going to come through in the books. If it's not too much for you, then you're going to find that the books are probably not too overbearing either, because I'm the same me in the books as I am on video.